Hey there, it's Kat and this is Brews and Reviews. So in today's video I'm going to be doing the Reading Tastes tag, and this was originally created by Sophia's Thoughts, and I just thought I'd do it because tag videos, hey? Question number 1 is, what is your favourite genre? I always struggle with a question like this because I find that I read so eclectically that it's really hard to pick a favourite genre. But I mean, looking at the books that I've read this year, I think it's very clear that I have read mostly fantasy books this year. So currently, at this point in time, I would say that my favourite genre is fantasy. It probably always is, but sci-fi and thrillers have also been up there. I think it's just that I find a lot of my favourite books tend to fall into the fantasy category. And that is not just because a lot of my favourite books are David Gemmell books. It's not that. I just like fantastical things. So I think I would say that my favourite genre is fantasy. Question number 2, what is the most difficult genre for you to read? So I picked 2 genres for this. Historical fiction is one of them. I do find historical fiction very difficult to read. I think it's because when someone says to me historical fiction, I immediately think the Tudors. Don't know why, I just do. Maybe it was because of like the prominence of Philippa Gregory at one point in time. She was just everywhere. I even had to study one of her books at uni, which maybe I definitely didn't read because the book they made us get had the tiniest print known to man, and I was like, I'm not reading this 600-page tiny print book. No. Anyway, beside the point. So when someone says historical fiction, I automatically think either the Tudors or World War II. And also, maybe it's just me, but in my head when someone says historical fiction, I think that the book is going to be really depressing. Because people tend to pick the most depressing times in history and go, I know what, I will set this book here and have this person go through a lot of trauma. And it's too close to home because, like, maybe that really happened to some people, rather than like, oh, a dragon bit someone's head off. Like, yeah, go for it. I don't want to hear about real life things that happen to people. You know, it's just a conflict in my mind that I can't really justify. I don't know, it's just weird for me. So I don't find myself drawn to historical fiction. And the other genre that I find is really, really difficult to pick up is non-fiction, because again, real life stuff. Even stuff that I'm really interested in, I would rather watch a video about it. I don't know, I'm not interested in learning about it through a book. And I don't know why that is. I just don't enjoy learning from books. It's just maybe not my learning style. So when I read non-fiction, it's like, it just feels a bit like school. I know that's not true, and I'm sure there are loads of people that love non-fiction, and there's loads of great non-fiction out there. It's just not for me, I don't think. I don't think that's how I learn best, so I think that's why I tend to avoid it now, because I'm like, no. And I'm not interested in celebrities' personal lives, so biographies, no, I just don't care. So yes, those genres are ones that I would not pick up if I had a choice. Question number 3 is, what is your preferred age range? The majority of the books that I read are young adult or adult. And neither of those are my favourite age range, because my actual favourite age range is new adult. But it's not really become an established age range that is being marketed and sold to, which I really think it should be, because it's basically young adult with adults. I don't know why people haven't capitalised on this. It takes the best of both worlds. It takes the young adult things that we all love, puts them in the adult world and has adult things happen to them, and makes it way more realistic, because adults can make rational decisions. I mean, they don't always, don't get me wrong, but 16-year-olds probably not going to save the world. 22-year-olds, marginally better. I don't know why. I find it so more realistic if you age some people up. It just appeals to me so much more. So while I really love YA and while I really love adult, I just put it in the middle. That's okay. We can have the best of both worlds. Nobody's saying Hannah Montana at me right now, but you know, we can have the best of both worlds. Question number 4, are you a character-driven or plot-driven reader? Alright, so I don't know. I think I'm a bit of both. I think that is the obvious answer for quite a lot of people. If I had to pick one, I kind of think I'm a more plot-driven reader, but I'm so picky, because the reason that I think I'm more of a plot-driven reader is because of Six of Crows. Now, I think a lot of people love Six of Crows because of the characters, and it's a very character-focused book for me, and it was also my least favourite of the Grisha series. And I think that one of the reasons that I liked it less than the others was because it was so focused on the characters and less on the plot. The plot felt like it was secondary to the characters, to me. To me, that is a personal opinion and is probably very unpopular. I find this with a lot of other books as well. I do need the plot to be good, and I also need the characters to be good. Because if I don't care about what happens to the characters, then it kind of doesn't matter how good the plot is, because I'm like, oh, will you just die already so we can keep moving? So I need a bit of both. And that's where we're going to settle on that one. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to say definitively one way or the other, but yeah. Question number 5. Do you have a preferred perspective? Honestly, no. I don't really care what perspective the story is in, just as long as it is suiting the story and it helps the story be told in the most effective way, then I'm good with it. I will say, though, that multiple perspectives can suck when there are too many perspectives, because they can all start to sound the same and it can become a bit of an issue. So I do probably prefer fewer perspectives than many perspectives. English. Question number 6, do you have a preferred tense? Maybe, I guess. I don't know. I think this kind of depends on what point of view we're reading a story in, because if it's in third person, then I kind of prefer past tense, because that just makes sense to me for some reason. And if we're in first person, then present tense is okay, because you are watching that person go through that thing at that point in time. But I also don't mind past tense. I don't know, I suppose I'm not really bothered. I think those things just make the most sense to me, and I'm not sure why. Question number 7, do you like series or standalone books best? Okay, so statistically, I think we would say that I prefer series. However, I am more likely to pick up a standalone book for the first time than start a new series. Because series is a commitment, and it's just difficult at this point in time to commit to a 6-book series. That's just very daunting, and I'm not here for that right now, even though I definitely am and keep doing it because apparently I'm a series whore. I'm gonna say technically I prefer series, but I definitely am more eager to pick up a standalone. Question number 8. Which would you rather, long or short books? Oh, the eternal dilemma. You'll know me, if you've been on this channel for very long, you will know that when I see a long book, my brain, it like picks up its bags and runs for the hills because it's terrified and it doesn't want it. It's like, no, it's over 500 pages, or it is over 400 pages. It's like, no, I can't. Yeah, but also some of my favourite books are really long, and sometimes I want longer books because I'm like, I need this book to be longer so that I can enjoy all of the characters and all of the goodness that is happening here. But also I do prefer shorter books, just simply because I actually feel like I have a sense of accomplishment when I've read it. And also, if it turns out to be shit, I don't feel like I've wasted my life. Like, when I read Malice by John Gwynne recently, I found that I felt like I'd wasted time, and it sucks. You get through like a 680 page book and feel like, what was the point? I could have read 2 other books in this time. It's so depressing. That is my problem with long books, and I guess I would have to say that I prefer shorter books, even though I do really like some long books. I just, as a reader, shorter books are probably more for me. Question number 9, what format do you like best? This one definitely depends on my mood, because I read audiobooks, I read physical books, and I read ebooks, and I've started to like ebooks a lot more now that I actually have a tablet rather than just reading it on my phone or my Kindle, because that was quite a small screen. I definitely like reading on my tablet a lot more than on my Kindle. I think audiobooks are great because sometimes my eyes are tired and I just can't be bothered, but I really want to read. So audiobooks are great. Also, audiobooks are great for when I'm doing something at work that doesn't require a lot of brain power, but it does require me to use my eyes and my hands. So audiobooks fill in that gap for me, and that is fantastic. Physical books I just love, because who doesn't love physical books? They're just awesome. But I think that I would say my favourite overall is a combination of audiobooks and physical books. So I'm listening to the audiobook and reading the physical book because I really love doing that, and I don't know why. And then question number 10 is, what are you currently reading? So currently I'm reading Killing It by Asia McKay, and that is a book about a woman who works for MI8. She's a spy. She's an assassin spy lady, and it's kind of just tongue-in-cheek. She's just went off and had a baby, and now she's coming back and she's being an agent and she's got to kill this guy but she's also a mum, and she's like, oh, I took my gun out of my bag and it had like a lollipop stuck to it. It's, you know, fine. A very fine book, but yeah, that's what I'm currently reading. If you'd asked me last night, I would have said the second book in the Ice Planet Barbarian series, but I accidentally read that in one go, so can't say that now. So that's the end of the tag. This was really fun. I actually just really enjoyed talking about my reading tastes. I've been in a bit of a booktube slump at the moment, so it was really nice to just talk about general book type things, and yeah, I had fun with it. So if you want to do this tag, feel free to do this tag. So if you made it this far into the video and you don't have anything to say but you want to leave me a comment just to let me know you were here, you can leave an emoji of your choice. Anything will be very nice of you. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!